One of the most important things you need to figure out in terms of your positioning is where you can win in the market. And today I'm going to use our new app, SmokeLadder, with a real world example to see where a particular brand might have some opportunities to win in their space. So I started off by taking a look at G2. I picked a category a little bit at random. I focused on account based marketing platforms. As you can see here, HubSpot is the number one in this particular category. And HubSpot, obviously a giant brand, everybody knows them. HubSpot is so confident, in fact, about their position here is their landing page for their product, their headline is marketing software. So yeah, they don't really feel the need to say much of anything here. They have some additional supporting messaging, obviously talking about their product, but yeah, they're not saying a whole lot up front here. So you would think maybe there's some opportunity for other brands. So they're number one. So my thought was, okay, who's, let's say, number 10 in this list? So we can scroll down the list, see a couple familiar names. There's Salesforce. Number 10 is this app, this product brand Follows. I've never heard of them before. They've got some reviews. Obviously, there's some people they're happy with them, but it's kind of curious to see how they're positioning themselves and how could they move up the ladder? How could they climb up a little bit in these rankings and maybe create a stronger position to win over some of those customers that just default to HubSpot? If we take a look at their landing page, their lead message, reimagine account-based marketing for the buyer-centric era. It says a little bit more than HubSpot does, but reimagine is always a little bit of a tricky word because it's a little bit like just be different. It doesn't really say a lot. It's kind of leaving it up to you to figure out what that actually means. Again, they have some supporting messaging here to flesh that out a little bit, but I think there's some opportunity for them to further accentuate their strengths and kind of some of the things that they do particularly well. So we ran their landing page and also HubSpot's through SmokeLadder. And Follow's page actually scored well. They have some good key strengths here, specifically around simplifying scalability. If we come over to the differentiation tab, we can see in the category of marketing, which covers a lot of different types of products. So this is a little bit of a broad stroke comparison. We can see they do have some standout points. If we come down to the bottom, we can see scalability, configurable, simplify, saving time, all strengths. But if we come down here and do a head-to-head comparison with HubSpot and HubSpot's landing page, we see it's not quite so clear cut. There's a lot of overlap with HubSpot in terms of the points of value that they're also emphasizing. So you can see where we had a big gap around scalability and simplify, that gap is kind of closed up. Meanwhile, the blue line here for HubSpot, they actually do have some big advantages around variety of solutions, reputation, not too surprising. Integration, also, they've got some gap there in between. So the question here is, where could Follows double down? Where could they further emphasize their value to create a real identity and find some places to win within this landscape, especially going against such a strong incumbent like HubSpot? If we come down here, again, we can see the breakdowns, we can see the comparisons of all the different value points and their scores. So there's still a little bit of an advantage for Follows with configurable, flexible, and form, but it's pretty small. Meanwhile, HubSpot still has advantages with variety, innovation, integration, lowering cost, reducing risk. So when you look at this, I think there's a couple things to consider. So one would be where Follows has some strengths already, specifically around scalability and simplifying. Could they emphasize this even more? So rather than having a headline about reimagining account-based marketing, could they double down on being a really simple solution for marketers to be able to implement some of these tools within their workflow? And if we pop back over to their landing page real quick, you can see they actually talk about things like personalized buyer experiences in minutes, no coding required. So having a no code solution, that's pretty big. Obviously, they lean on AI to help with some of this, to uncover some of these insights, empowering their sales team, orchestrating campaigns. Some of this is a little bit broad, and I think they could take some of the essence of what they're talking about in here from both an innovation perspective and a simplifying perspective, bubble that up to the main messaging and really position themselves around being the easiest to use, the most simple solution to uncover some of these powerful benefits for customers. Because if we think about a product like HubSpot, kind of like Salesforce, they're going to naturally have a reputation for being probably bloated, more complex, harder to get up and running. So I think there's an opportunity there for follows to maybe slip in and build an identity around being the easier solution, the simpler solution that is also extremely powerful, but it doesn't have these big hurdles to jump over to get going. And we can take a look at one other piece here in the app, which is the AI Insights tab. And we have this decision maker insights piece, which is a generative AI feature where we sort of think about what decision makers would say about this product if they were in a buying process. And you can see CEO score fairly well, CFO score only a 6. It says, though promising, I need more concrete information on potential ROI prior to making such an investment. And if you look again at the follows page, they do have some case studies, but they're sort of baked into this little carousel at the bottom, and it's makes it a little bit harder to see what some of the either cost savings or revenue generation benefits are. I think they could do a better job of bubbling that stuff up too. And then on the CTO side, they bring up from a tech standpoint, no code customization, use of AI for ABM is compelling, but need to verify robustness of security, et cetera. So again, calling out the benefits of having this no code solution, but it's just not emphasized very much. It's kind of it feels more like a secondary supporting point as opposed to the main focus. And one more piece here, looking at the value proposition evaluation. Again, you can see kind of the general summary of the product, but coming down to value improvements, we can see some opportunities here, more explicit demonstration of ROI, like we were saying, like kind of the CFO piece was calling out above, showing concrete instances of use cases, emphasizing that speed and agility of the tool more. So again, I think there's some real opportunities there to focus on speed of implementation, simplification, and then again, all the power that you're getting from the AI insights. So that's just a quick run through of how you can use our app, avoiding the name, how you can use our app to really practically look at your positioning in the market and compare and contrast against market leaders. Maybe there's other direct competitors you might want to be looking at and look for some of those opportunity spots where you can win.